Good morning, everybody, and I'd like to welcome you this morning to the Monday, March 23rd regular meeting of the Kaufman County Commissioners Court. We're pleased to have you with us this morning, and as always, if you would like to address the court at the beginning of the meeting, we have a sign-in sheet there at the end of the table, and we'll do that immediately after we have the invocation as well as the pledge of allegiance to both of our flags. And I've asked Commissioner Rosalick this morning if he would give our invocation, so if you join me in standing.
Lord, we thank you for this beautiful weather we've had. We thank you for the rain that you've given us that we desperately need. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our county and our state and our nation at the capacity you will us to do. We pray for the wisdom to do the will of the people that elected us put us in this position. We pray for all of our fallen heroes, our fallen soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. We pray for the families of those that were wounded warriors as they try to recover. We pray for the safety of all of our military and our first responders, and we pray that you look over everyone in this court. In Jesus' name we ask these things. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Next would be remarks from visitors, and Randy, I guess you're serving as our bailiff today, so thank you, sir. Okay, next, first on the person I'd like to address is Janice Poor from County Road 4015. So, Mrs. Poor, if you would come forward, and we've changed the microphone here on the table. We still got a big table, but if you come forward here and make your remarks, we would appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
I'd like to address our problem on 4057. We have nothing but potholes. If an emergency vehicle tried to come down that road, it would be virtually impossible. We're driving in a ditch to avoid some of them, and still you can't avoid them. And we'd just like to see if we could get something done to resolve that problem. The road is about 3 miles long, and not all of it is solid autos, but the majority of it is.
Thank you very much for being here. Next is Linda. Okay, if you come forward as well.
Thank you.
And you're also, I believe, on County Road 4057.
Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I represent Stealth Enterprises LLC, their ranch holdings. We're at 18038 County Road 4057. And as Janice was saying, our road is full of potholes due to the weather. We have 1 mile frontage road. The first half mile, we have 86 potholes. They are anywhere from 2 to 4 inches deep and 10 inches to 4 foot wide. The other half is not as bad. We only have 34 potholes on that section. The roadsides are so damaged, everyone is driving in the water ditches. They're putting up sides of mud, so of course the water cannot drain off of the road. That's new potholes. It's underneath. It's all eroding, turning into gravel. The water ditches now, they just hold water. Everything is just eroding. Everybody's driving on the sides to try and avoid the potholes. It's not working very well. So if you ever get a chance, I'd like you to look at our little road. I hope you do it on a dry day so you don't get stuck in the ditch. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. Next is Eric Miller, who lives on County Road 4045A.
I'm a resident of Kemp, Texas. I live on 4045A. My concern is also on the road 4045A. It seems like the road has been patched so many times, it's not even really a road anymore. It's just a bunch of potholes, and to me, it's just getting worse. Potholes continue to form, especially after a lot of our rain that we've had here recently. I'm sure that's a problem all over the area. But I would just like this issue to be addressed at some point. One of my concerns is that it seems like there's only two speeds on the road. It's either you go as fast as you can to get past it, or you just go so slow to ease the drive. You can't even drink a cup of coffee on the road. My other concern is vehicles driving down the road. I believe the road, the residents per capita of the road, there's a lot of individuals on that road that I feel that it has a high traffic area for the issue to be addressed. Now, as far as the vehicles, I feel like we have a lot of buses, a lot of 18-wheelers. I guess they may live down that road. But as far as that, I believe it's wearing away at the suspension of the vehicles, and not only buses, but other trash vehicles and everybody else on the road. So it's just something that I plan on living in this area for a long time. I just moved here from Tyler, and it's just something I would like to see maybe addressed at one point. So, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
And next is William Fletcher from County Road 4057. Thank you, Mr. Fletcher, for being here.
I hate to repeat what the people have already said, but obviously I'm having the same problem on the same road, 4057. We have some, I kind of think the word pothole may not actually do it justice. Some of them are extremely large, extremely deep. I have personally had to take my vehicle up to the muffler shop, and I had to have a muffler on it that I just bought about 8 months ago. I had to have it re-welded because the wheels on it broke from bouncing down that road. It's an extremely rough and bad road. I've lived down some bad roads, and a section of this is, almost become impassable. There's two ways in and out of where I live, and the majority of the residents, as far as I know, have actually almost stopped going that direction and started going the other direction to try to avoid the bad section, which is fine, except that now the other end of the road is getting torn out too from the excess traffic heading out the other way. I'd just like to see if we can get something done about that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
Is there anyone else here that would like to address the court that did not sign up? Okay, we will move into routine correspondence, and I did have a letter from Charlotte where we were thanking us again for the funds that were distributed, that were collected last year during some of the cases that were heard. So it's always good to get a thank you note from a group that really does a lot of work with our kids here in the county, so we appreciate doing that. The next item on the agenda will be the consent agenda. And item A is to discuss and consider approving minutes for the regular meeting March the 9th, 2015. B is to discuss and consider accepting a donation of 40 downed officer kits donated by Jim and Betty West at a total cost of $1,421.63. I believe those were donated to the Sheriff's Department. Item C is to discuss and consider appointing Commissioner Phillips and Commissioner Allen to the Tax Increment Financing Board for the City of Forney. Item D is to discuss and consider purchasing dump trucks for Precinct 1 and 3 with the repurchase option through the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative Contract number 02-102314. E is to discuss and consider approving honorably retired peace officer policy for the Kaufman County Fire Marshal's Office. Item F is to acknowledge the certificates of course completion of the Open Meetings Act and Public Information Act for Commissioner William Phillips. And G is to discuss and consider approving a project agreement with the City of Oak Ridge for road repairs on multiple roads in Kaufman County Precinct 1. Commissioners, does anybody have these?
Oak Grove.
Oak Grove, yeah. Anybody have any questions about anything on the consent agenda?
On the item E, ready? Item E,
Yes, sir.
is this something new that we've never done before, or is?
It's new for our office. We did not have a specific policy in that office, and we reviewed the sheriff's department's policy and just changed the language where it would accommodate, the fire marshal's office.
Is that,
Quite similar to the
is
sheriff.
that consistent with other counties, what other counties do?
Consistent with our county.
Other questions? Commissioner Shane makes a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second? Commissioner Rosales seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Item number 3 is to discuss and consider approval of an agreement with for Kaufman projects between Kaufman County and the city of Kaufman, and funding sources for the State Highway 34 project and the County Road 151 project in the amount of $7 million. This is part of the countywide bond program, and I know John Poster has been working on this. You have a copy of the agreement, and I believe I saw Mr. Snow come in from the city of Kaufman. Do you have questions about this from anyone? I believe this is an agreement we've talked about now for some time, ever since the bond program.
Yeah, it's been on the road bond package agenda, and it's just come to fruition.
Other questions or comments?
I make a motion, we approve the idea for the Kaufman County project.
All right, Commissioner Rosales makes a motion to approve this item for the city of Kaufman and the agreement we have with them. Do we have a second? Commissioner Phillips seconds the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. All right, item number 4 is to discuss and consider renewing transportation services contract with Innovative Transportation Services Incorporated. That is with John Poster. You guys don't have to leave. You're certainly welcome to stick around.
Got another 4-hour meeting tonight. We'll do our own, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
This is with our contract with John Poster, who's been serving as our transportation consultant. What's your pleasure on item number 4?
Just want to make a comment that I think he does an exceptional job of leveraging our money, and I make a motion we renew the contract.
We have a motion from Commissioner Rosales and a second from Commissioner Allen. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Next is item number 5. Ms. Ratcliffe, our tax assessor collector, is here to present the tax assessor collector's report. It was a good report.
Thank you. We have collected for the county this month a total of $3,281,000. That's for the general fund, and then this month for the road and bridge, $470,237. So I would remind you that for the county general budget part, we still have over $50,600 that are deferred taxes, so we're not going to get those. And for the road and bridge part, we have $7,071 that are deferred. The total amount collected year to date is $28,553,459 for your M&S and I&O. If you added in the delinquent portion that we also collected, the whole thing that we collected would be today $29,062,553, and that's not on there. I actually added those together so you know that number.
I must not have it updated.
We did send over an updated version, but if you didn't get it, I'll make sure you copy it down and make them too late to get your taxes. Sorry. So you should look at those numbers and say, those numbers don't match anything I have.
One up from the original. I think.
we'll start over again. Basically, total M&S I&O collected year-to-date is $28,553,459. And if you added in all of the delinquent, that $509,000 of delinquent taxes that were also collected year-to-date, your total year-to-date collections are $29,062,553. But this month, for just this month alone, for M&S and I&O together, we collected $3,281,000. That's adding your 2.8 and your 338,000 there together. Now, as far as ag rollback, we did have some ag rollbacks this month with the general fund and road and bridge, and they were all for the Forney development area. They were all from the Madison Greyhawk Limited off of County Road 204. There were 3 different pieces of property involved in that.
That's probably look at the total of $160,000 just on M&O, and you've got another $19,000 on road and bridge. That's probably the largest we've had in years on rollback taxes.
I think you're probably right. This is a big time for rollback tax as
A lot
well.
of development going on,
Yes.
which is huge. Now, for mine, before we didn't do anything for rollback taxes. So that's good.
So for road and bridge, our total collections for this month were $470,237, and for year-to-date, $4.1 million. And if you add in the delinquent taxes also collected for road and bridge, it'd be $251,000, so $4.2 million. So we're moving right along. But again, that total is about $57,000 of deferrals between the two ones that we'll never see. So we won't be collecting that amount of money. Any questions on this report? Now that you have the same one I have.
No question. I think she has another thing she wants to talk about, but before we do that, let's go ahead and vote to accept her report. Commissioner Shane makes that motion, Commissioner Allen seconds. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed. And then you wanted to mention something else about the auction.
I did. We had another one of our property resale auctions last Thursday night, and we were afraid about just getting people to show up because with the weather, we had to reschedule it 3 times. But we did have a pretty good group of people there. We had 46 properties for sale. We did sell 22 of those properties, brought in $53,871, and then had 22 properties back on the rolls.
Would you go through those numbers again?
Yes, we had 46 properties for sale. We sold 22 of them. We collected $53,871. And now that means we have 22 more properties back on the tax rolls.
So will you add the 24 back on the next auction again, or will you do 24?
It depends on where we're going. Yes, generally they're added back on, but if we're going to Terrell next, we may concentrate mostly on Terrell properties there. We do get a big turnout in Terrell. If we go to Kemp or Maybank, we concentrate more on properties that are down there. So, but yes, they will keep coming back until they're sold off. They keep coming back.
This one was held here in Kaufman.
This one was down here in Kaufman. It's the first one we've done here in Kaufman. The others were in Kemp and Maybank. We had one in Maybank, I think, and 2 in Kemp. And 1 in Terrell. Yeah.
Kind of like going to a garage sale,
Some pretty good prices, yes. There were 3 properties in Wells Point ISD, and somebody scarfed all of those up. And we did have some good bidding wars going on, so that means there were some properties that people wanted. So that's a good thing. It brings the property up, dollars up.
I guess garage sale don't have an auctioneer there.
No. Jeff Brown is our auctioneer for this, and does a pretty good job. So, any questions on that?
Thank you very much. That's a good report. Next, our treasurer, Ronnie Oldfield, will present his report for the month of February.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, guests. The beginning balance of the general fund at February 1st, 2015 was $13,697,521.97. The receipts to the general fund were $3,603,407.29. The disbursements were $2,381,910.40 for an ending balance of $14,919,018.86. Our investments from the general fund and from the general MMI, $14,943,874.01 at the beginning and the end of the period. Our construction fund, road bond INS, and the road bond fund, those balances has not changed either. The interest on the bank accounts from American National, $24,302.03, and for the funds that are at tax pool, the $1,899,834.20 on the land sale fund and $1 million of the road bond fund. That total interest is $120.72. And we've got another agenda item later so that we'll be able to migrate the tax pool funds to American National Bank if you gentlemen approve. The receipts do not include any of the funds collected by American Traffic Systems. I believe in the last court meeting there was presentation of the amounts of money, and for the month of February, it was $10,000. It's been a little over $22,000 year to date. So I believe that we'll need to have some discussion of are those funds required to be received by the county treasurer. So we may see an agenda item next time for that. Are there any questions, gentlemen?
Do we know where those funds are?
There's a bank account at U.S. Bank that is generally titled, don't have the exact words, but an ATS account as agent for Kaufman County.
Is this the last money that's left in the tax pool?
Yes, sir, the $1,899,834.20 plus some accrued interest, yes, sir. Now, going forward, the interest rate paid by American National will, effective today, will decrease from 0.65% down to 0.35%. We had American National had continued paying interest based upon the prior depository contract that expired September 30th, 2013. So for the period October 1st, 2013 through Sunday, they were applying the old expired rate, the new existing rate, and the current depository contract is 0.35, so they'll begin that effective today.
It's good to talk to me, maintaining the old rate.
Put the full court press on them, as I'm sure the judge did as well.
We've really benefited from that contract.
Yeah. And we do that. You know, we talked about that in January and complimented American National, how high that rate was based upon my knowledge of other counties. So God always smiles on Kaufman County, and here's another instance where God smiled on Kaufman County and had us receive more than 100,000 excess interest. So we're thankful.
Monty, this is it's an easy to understand report, and I commend you on that. Would it be, how much work or how much extra time would it take to have a comparison to this year where we were this time last year?
Oh, Judge, I would love to do that.
I think that might be
I
helpful.
think it would be excellent. By the next report, we should be able to get that formatted and done. I appreciate your question.
All right, do we have any other questions for the treasurer?
And then more importantly, Judge, maybe we'll start looking forward as well, you know, to show this is where we were last year in some subsequent quarters, so that the commissioners can get a feel for where it's going to go. If that sounds fair to you.
Motion to accept. Okay, we have a motion, Commissioner Allen, to accept the treasurer's report. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Duvalli, seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Thank you, Judge. Mr. Oldfield. We will pass these around to everybody to sign. Alrighty. Next item is item number 7 to George York to discuss and consider approving an agreement for the judge's edition software with Tyler Technologies for courtroom and non-courtroom use.
Folks, in January 1 of this year, we went live with eFile Texas. What we do today is any folks that file motions or file cases with Kaufman County, they file online. For example, if I use eDocs or a product like that, I file my case, it goes to eFile Texas. Then after that, the vendor, the Texas approved vendor, Tyler Technologies, takes the information, our servers in the back room. The case is created, and the difference now is it shifts the burden of the work and labor from the clerk of the court to the court coordinator. So what we did in July of last year is we budgeted for a product from Tyler Technologies that will solve the problem by presenting the documents at trial on the judge's bench. After some deliberation by the judges, they chose to proceed with Tyler Technologies product, and the item you see there, the $60,000 budget line item, is to cover the expense of eFile. There's another product we can use, which is probably more important for the criminal side, and that's e-signature. E-signature allows the judge to sign the documents on his bench without having to create the paper, sign the paper, and scan it into Odyssey. At the time, we tried to, Laura Hughes donated, or she generously suggested we use some of her funds to pay for e-signature. We ran that by the DA, and the opinion we received back from John was that we could not do so. So I talked to Bobby Rich, who's now in charge, Judge Rich, who's in charge of the law library, and he has, as of last Friday, his opinion is that we may, or his opinion is we can use the law library funds to pay for that. So I guess today we would want to move forward with judge's session to present documents at trial on a judge's bench, and hopefully move forward with e-signature pending approval by the DA to use law library funds. Any questions? What do you guys think of this microphone, by the way? This is a loan, okay? We, folks in Garland, in fact, Jack got us in touch with a really good audio-visual company called Cam Audio, and we had discussions last week, and they want us to try this to see how it works. The issue, some time ago, we had boundary mics that could catch speech from a distance away, but there's so much noise and vibration that didn't work. So these, in fact, the ones in front of you, you have to be quite close to it in order to be effective. So you guys, you can see on your bench there, it's a lot harder. So we're going to try this, and hopefully, if we're successful here, we'll send that to those there.
And you folks in the back of the room hear better today?
Yes.
Good. I know that's been an ongoing complaint we've had, so that's good.
Yeah, this room is kind of like a bowling alley, and the acoustics are not too good, so we're going to try it.
I've had some people suggest that they roll walls up this way, roll. So this commission would be good if they All right, George, so according to Judge Rich, then he feels comfortable approving this, and what amount of money are we talking about?
So we budgeted 60 for judge's section, and the remainder is 32,420, and that's for e-signature. E-signature also, it is not only just for this, but it can be used across the Odyssey suite for all the courts, including the JP court, so it's a really good product.
I know we have the funding available in the, in the law library fund. So the first one would be dealing with the judge's edition software. And so that would be the first motion. And Rebecca?
I would just say that the law library funds are very specific in what they can be used for. And while Judge Rich has apparently said it's okay to use it, I would want to make sure that that's correct in the statute so that we're not impermissibly using funds from the library.
We want to do a pending your approval.
But I would ask you guys to maybe talk about an alternate source of that funding. That way we could proceed forward with it to make sure that we had, if the library funding did not work, something else was in place so that we can go ahead and enter into the contract.
Well, of course, the question would be, what is another alternate source, and I'm wondering, we've talked about having a special meeting next Tuesday, the 31st, because of the land that TxDOT has to approve. I'm wondering if maybe we could put this on the agenda and give them time to work through the issue with the law library, as well as, I guess, item number 8, too, on the e-signature. Well, that has a cost associated with it.
The first item we have funding. The other section we have money.
That's money from the commissioners.
That's something I budgeted for during hearings last July.
Okay, so the first item we've got in the budget.
Yes.
Item number 7.
Yes.
And that's the 60, that's the 60,000?
Yes.
Yes.
And you concur with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So that, we're not talking about that particular item as far as coming out of the law library. So what's your pleasure on item number 7? Since we have it in the budget.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen makes a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Commissioner Shane seconds. Further discussion on the budget? All in favor say aye. Aye. Now, item number 8 is, I guess, the one that's maybe we need to go a little more digging on, and that is to discuss and consider approving agreement for e-signature software with Tyler Technologies. And this is the one for $32,000. And so this may be the one that, since there may be a question about funding on it, that we look, and maybe you can give it to Judge Rich, Rebecca, and then during the meantime, maybe we can look for some alternate funding source for this as well. I would think that would be in order to table until we get just a bit more information. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Allen to table item 8 till we get a little bit more information, and we have a second from Commissioner Phillips. Any other discussion?
Do we need to put this on the agenda?
Yeah, we can go ahead and we'll put it on the agenda for next week, for next Tuesday, actually, on the 31st. So we get to do that. And they will also, at that same, maybe we can identify the source of funding for it on the agenda as well. So, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, thanks, George. Next item is number 9, and that has to do with Ms. Hughes, our county clerk, to discuss and consider authorizing the county clerk to sign Texas Department of State Health Services data use agreement, which allows the county clerk's office to continue offering birth certificates to the public utilizing the Department of State Health Services database.
We received an email from the Department of State Health Services, and it just says pursuant to the changes in the federal law, they reviewed our current contract and have determined that it requires this data use agreement. And it was one of those things that needed to be signed immediately. Took it to the district attorney's office, and he said, bring it to the commissioner's court.
You have any questions of Ms. Hughes?
Is there any additional work or cost to this, or other than what we did do it?
I'll entertain a motion to approve. Commissioner Shane makes that motion. Do we have a second? Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Item number 10 is also from the county clerk, Ms. Hughes, to discuss and consider renewing agreement with the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles to participate in the scofflaw service program for Transportation Code 502-010, which allows the county to refuse to register a motor vehicle if the owner of the vehicle owes the county money for an unpaid fine, fee, or tax. Ms. Hughes?
The scofflaw program is provided for under Transportation Code 502-010, which is attached to the agenda, and it's designed to increase the collection of past due money by allowing the tax assessor collector to refuse to register vehicles for customers who are behind on fines, fees, and taxes. Kaufman signed the first agreement in 2007, and then signed a resolution in 2008, and we received an email from John Carney, and he said that our contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles expired in November of 2013, which is the reason I'm bringing it back to court. The DMV wants to know whether or not Kaufman County Commissioners wish to continue participation. For John Carney, the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles said there's presently 13 counties signed up for scofflaw. However, only Dallas and Harris submit scofflaw data regularly. Hidalgo, McClellan, Ector, and Galveston submit on an average of every couple of months, and the 7 other counties with the scofflaw contract have been inactive for over a year. Why do you say this is a great way to collect money? I want to tell you that as a collections department, I don't have the personnel to do this, but I've worked with several outside vendors who think they'll be able to do something with either the Department of Motor Vehicles or as a side piece of software. Those vendors are Asphalt, Purdue, and Weinberger. So if we're going to do this, we will be contracting with the vendor, but we'll be one of the first counties that have done that contracting through a vendor to DMV. So we'll get Bailey County on that. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is I talked to the judges, and my judges are not in support of the actions of the scofflaw. They believe that they can better handle their fines and penalties themselves than in our administration of the motor vehicle.
And which judges did you talk with?
I talked to all 4 of them, but I have a letter from my 2 county judges who said they want to find this.
Okay. Is this a duty of the county clerk, or is it a duty of the county tax assessor?
The code is written as the duty of the tax assessor collector. However, the tax assessor collector has no information regarding fines and court costs. So the data has to come, if it's going to be on fines and court costs, the data has to come from either probation, the collections department, or the justice of the peace, and it has to be submitted to the DMV in order to flag that registration as scofflaw. And then the tax assessor collector sees that when she calls up her DMV database, it will say county scofflaw.
So the majority of the work is on your department, and it shows up on their screen when they do a registration.
Right, and I did talk to Tanya and told her that if she wanted to have Odyssey available on her system, she could look and see if fines or court costs were due, and then we wanted that.
Read this contract, it also looks like we have to maintain at least a $500 deposit with the state, so that means we would have to deposit more than that to cover the cost of them looking up the data. And there was also a $23 per occurrence charge for when you do submit data or look data up. So that looks like a big bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I think the judges are capable of collecting their own fines.
I think that's the way to do it.
Ms. Rath, I'm sorry, Ken, go ahead.
That's all right.
Ms. Radcliffe, you, I think, looked into this as well, and what is your opinion of this, of the scofflaw, and whose department it should come under?
Well, I think it's great if Laura wants to put this into the computer. Then it becomes a matter of me supporting the scofflaw, which is, it's not my duty to put it in the computer, and it's not my duty to support it. It's my option. By law, the tax assessor may choose to support or not support the scofflaw.
Is it a responsibility of the court to determine that?
No, the court can't determine that. By law, that ability to support or not support the scofflaw rests with the tax assessor. However, having said that, putting it in the computer is how I support it. I don't know if there's a court fine or fee due if it's not in the DMV computer. That's how it pops up on us when we register a vehicle. Now, one thing I would just throw out there, I have been talking with Lineberger, and as she mentioned, there are several firms that are getting on board with this, and Lineberger is actually working on a program they're just like this close to putting out, which they have told me will not cost money, that it'll be just part of what they do in collecting taxes, put things into the program, and I'm not sure how their program is going to work, because it's not actually, I guess, ready to roll. They're just like on the edge.
These 13 counties that she related to that are signed up for this, but only 2 of them regularly participate.
Because it'll change with every new tax assessor. Most tax assessors do not want to support the scofflaw because it thinks it makes them the bad guy, and then we'll get rid of it. Okay? I support the scofflaw because I think it's the right thing to do. It brings in the money that we need here for people who have not paid their taxes and their fines, fees, whatever might be in the computer. The problem is right now most of our county stuff is not in the computer, and so Laura's looking at a way to get it in the computer.
Do we know what amount that might be that's outstanding?
No, that would be hers to know. I wouldn't know that.
And we won't know that till we enter all the data, I guess.
And work with the vendor to get the program to work. Like I said, we'll be a beta. Lineberger said they were close. They were going to try to work with Galveston first, and then they would, work with us if we so can.
Do we already do a sort of scofflaw with our property taxes?
Yes,
You do
yes,
that already? In other words, if somebody comes in and on your screen, they show to owe delinquent property taxes, before they're allowed to register their vehicle, they are required to set up a payment agreement to start paying their property taxes. Is that how that works?
Well, it's a little more than that. Actually, it's if they, first of all, like 2014 taxes that were just due the end of January, they're going to be 90 days late before I can start turning away people. So there's so much overdue that it has to be before you can scofflaw them. And then what happens is, depending upon the person, if we say you can't register your vehicle until you pay your taxes, a good number of them will fuss, and then they'll pay their whole tax amount. And then there's the rest of them, that can't afford to pay the whole tax amount, so we make agreements with them to pay it off in like 3 steps or something, and give them temporary tags until they can pay it off. So we try to make it where we're getting across the point that it's important they pay their taxes like everybody else.
And I believe someone told me, I don't know whether it was you or who told me, that right now if a person comes in from a county that has a scofflaw program in place, that we do collect for those counties, or we don't register their vehicles.
Yeah, we don't collect, but we honor that.
Okay. So
So if they got
have
a
to go
ticket in
back.
Arlington and they haven't paid for it and it's really old, we say, sorry, you've got a ticket that's overdue, we can't register your car.
So if someone in Tarrant County or Dallas or whichever counties are participating, we do require them to pay their fine or go get some sort of release.
Well, and I question that because everything that I've read on scofflaw says that I can only do scofflaw on the automobiles that are registered in Kaufman County. So I don't know how someone in Arlington, if they hold to the same standards on the city, then how can the city do scofflaw on a car that's not in their county? I mean, it would only be for...
They can only register cars here that are from here, but you can be from here and get a ticket in another county.
But
And if they're on the scofflaw, they'll put it in the computer. and then we see it.
I can only submit to the Department of Motor Vehicles automobiles that are registered in this county.
That's right, that's all your part is. I'm talking about other people who participate. And that's the point right now, is that other counties who are putting information into the DMV computer, I'm supporting them, but we have nobody doing that for our county. So we don't have a way, other than taxes, to know if anybody has a ticket, because we're not currently putting them in the DMV.
If they have a ticket, the judge is gonna levy something on them in their court or issue a warrant eventually, so we already have a way to collect those tickets, yeah.
It's 60 days from issue.
It's multiple layers of government.
Jeff, look,
Yes, ma'am.
you remember that's been part of our issue on the outside auditors is the huge amount of receivables that we haven't been able to collect. I don't know if that's played a part of it, because a lot of it has to do with court costs, fines, and fees.
Yeah, one time there was some number out there of $20,000 that we had that was outstanding in fines.
$20 million.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how much?
They, about 20 million, 24 million, 22 million. They have increased our allowance for doubtful accounts to kind of balance that off simply because we haven't collected it. And it's, some of them are so old.
That was gonna be my next question, how far back is that going?
Georgia pulled a report, and some of them go quite a ways back, but we refused to write them off. Simply for the reason that's money that's owed to people that, the county that, it's Kaufman County money, and eventually if those people, even if they've moved off, get stopped, there's a warrant, they're gonna have to pay that and collect some of that money.
So again, we have a mechanism in place.
Yeah, that's what I'm warranting. If there's not a warrant.
One other issue to consider
You
is,
said something interesting. You say that if they owe property tax right now and they come in and register a car, they can't register the car if they owe property tax.
if they owe, well, for 14s, they still can't, because it's not 90 days late.
No,
If they
I
owe
mean, in
previous-
13, if they owe property tax in 13, they can't register the car.
Not unless they come to us and give us some money and make a plan to pay it off, no.
That's the way you do that with property tax.
Yes, absolutely can. Property taxes, fines, or fees. And the thing about this program is, and putting in, even if we got all this information in from the courts and the JPs, you as commissioners are not gonna see each month some grand change in collections, because remember, vehicles are only registered once a year. So, it'll be, you'll slowly see how it would have an impact, but it wouldn't be an immediate impact because of how seldom we have to register our cars.
Well, and one other thing I'd point out, our collections department is undergoing an audit. I have a letter here from last year from the Office of Court Administration where there were a number of issues that were addressed by the Office of Court Administration. And Laura, I know you've addressed many of these. There were a number of findings they did on the audit. And I don't recall the scofflaw being a part of that, but there were a number of issues that were addressed. I believe we're being audited and now it's coming back for review, I think. And so I just wondered if something like this would keep us from undergoing a state audit again because of the effort made to collect fines and fees. And in my discussion with the folks with the Office of Court Administration, they seemed to think it was a good idea to move forward with.
Honestly, the code of criminal procedures under the collection program does not require
No, I know that, but I mean, it does. They did, when I talked to the gentleman, I can't recall his name, he did indicate that he felt like anything that moved to help collect fines and fees was a good move.
We will do anything that the commissioners court wants. I just have the letter that says, the Department of Motor Vehicles would like to know whether or not the county would like to, if you would send me a letter on letterhead stating whether or not the county wishes to participate and send the contract, or they will refund the $28 that we have in the account.
So we've had it in place, we just haven't been using it
You had
because of
it
the
since
extra.
2007,
that was out there, but we had a change in office, and it just went away.
Yeah, this next study just a lot more this week, says that the only two counties I can find that currently use it, actually using it is Dallas and Harris County, and they use it very seldom, because they had a bunch of trouble with it. They decided it targeted the poor and the people that need the money the most. It targeted low income more than it did anybody else, because they're the only people that's not paying taxes, basically. I mean, you know, but I mean, it's so it's a growing issue. I mean, there's no question, but makes you wonder why all the counties that started it have stopped it.
Yeah, there's 13 in that signed up, and only two of them.
Only two of them currently used, and that's Dallas and Harris.
I told you that part of that is political.
Well, I don't know if you're a person and you happen to be, if like me, I own every car in my family. So if something happens and I don't pay, then nobody in my family gets to drive.
And you're
So
not
I've
poor, so
targeted
it's
everybody.
not targeting poor people.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if I don't have the money to pay the fee, guess what they do? They just keep driving anyway, because they couldn't save the ticket.
What would be worse is if it's.
Now we're gonna have more money on top of that, and more money on top of that, until eventually, there's no way, they just keep driving anyway.
I don't see how we're adding more money. These are different people we're talking about, probably.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you looked at this law, I think, and you didn't have a lot of time to look at it, but who is the final person to determine whether we do the scofflaw or not?
I think really it depends, it's kind of a two-step process. You've got to have the infrastructure in place if you want to do it, but then the statute ultimately makes it permissive on the tax assessor to decide to enforce it. So that's kind of more of a complex question that I've had a chance to look at this point. If you'd like for us to look into it in a little more detail, we can certainly do that and provide you guys with more information.
Well, I guess another question I would have, if under her authority as tax assessor collector, you're already doing it for property taxes, and you're doing it for out-of-county people that are sent to you as being violators of the laws that fit the scofflaw thing. If we do not move forward with this, then does that prohibit you from collecting delinquent property taxes?
No, sir, it doesn't change anything in my office, but I'm getting the feeling that, I don't know, one or all the commissioners don't think I should be trying to go after the back taxes by using the scofflaw.
You go after the back taxes without using the scofflaw, because you said you were already doing that, right?
Well, no, that's through scofflaw. I mean, that's through, yes, it's through scofflaw. That's how I have the ability to do it.
Are the taxes under the Department of Motor Vehicle contract?
No, but I have them in my computer, so I can do this.
Okay. So, but this contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles doesn't affect your property tax collection?
No.
And I'm concerned that there's misinformation. If Commissioner Phillips does not pay fire and court costs, and he lives in Kaufman County, and his vehicles are registered in Kaufman County, then we would put the hold on his motor vehicle registration. He can't go to Dallas County and register his vehicles. So the people who have a ticket in Arlington cannot put a scofflaw on Commissioner Phillips' vehicles in Kaufman County. They can only do it in the county in which a motor vehicle is registered. So
That's not correct. That's not correct.
Okay, that's it.
You can get a ticket anywhere in the state, and if that county puts it into the DMV computer, then any tax assessor who supports the scofflaw can say, they got a ticket while driving through lot or whatever, and we're gonna.
But it's my understanding that we cannot submit anything, and
You're not submitting anything from any other county but yourself.
So I have offenders that come in that just drive through on 175 and get, a Class A or Class B misdemeanor.
Right.
And you're saying I can put their information into DMV, and wherever they live, that person will say, well, look, you have scofflaw on your registration.
If they support the scofflaw, again, it's up to the tax assessor and where
No,
they
but
live.
I would have to put their information in for another
Yes.
county. But I can't do that. That's not how it's written.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
But without this, you can continue to withhold registration from people that owe taxes in your department.
I can, and I have been, it doesn't appear like y'all want me to.
No,
I mean,
it's two
that's not
different
approaching
issues.
a lot of back taxes by doing that.
That's a completely different thing.
Yeah, it's two different issues. You already continue doing what you're doing. It doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't tie up another person to enter data, so, you know, that'd be my suggestion. Continue doing what you're doing. And this other thing, I don't know, if people are signed up for it and don't use it, there's gotta be a reason for it. And apparently, it may be the time and personnel that it costs to enter all this data. Just guessing. Yeah, it's another thing where we spend a lot of time for very little return.
I mean, traffic tickets, there's warrants.
Yeah.
What they're in.
All the judges.
What's in the 911 system over here is hard warrants. Anytime that there's a warrant out, they'll get stopped anywhere and go to jail.
And then
On
they'll
scofflaw, they don't go to jail, it just stops them from registering the vehicle in another county if they participate in that system, which there's only two, so they'd have to move to Dallas or Harris to participate.
Well, I would like to clarify whether the tax assessor collector unilaterally has the decision to participate in the scofflaw program by herself. And Rebecca, if that's something you could check on and maybe give us a report back on.
Certainly.
Just so, you know, we'll know it appears, and I'm not a lawyer by any means, but it appears that it's left up to the tax assessor level. So, gentlemen, would you like to table this till we get a bit more information until next week? Or what would you like to do?
I have no interest in the program itself.
Is that a motion?
Okay, I have a motion from anyone.
I make a motion we not renew the agreement, because that's the agenda item. To consider renewing the agreement, I make a motion we do not.
We have a motion from Commissioner Kozlowski, we have a second.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Phillips seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. I vote no. Next item is Steve Hood to discuss and consider allowing the Care Flight Regional Operations Manager and Administrative Assistant to utilize office space at the 911 EOC Center during the interim contract period.
Commissioners and Judge, got the person that will be occupying those spaces with me today, Bill Bonnie. They're getting a place with the regional manager, who is Bill Bonnie, and he covers Kaufman and Ellis counties. He will also have with him an administrative assistant who, in consultation with Bill and the CEO, Jim Schwartz, they're willing to allow us to share the services of the administrative assistant there, which would allow us to have a receptionist at the window and somebody that could help us with some little light paperwork, exchanging paperwork, coming and going and so forth, at our location. And when we go out for a full 5-year contract, if Care Flight is chosen, then we would negotiate that long-term as to whether they paid anything or not in the future. I think in the short term, for the services that they're offering from their administrative assistant, I think this and the next item would, us not charging them would be a benefit to them and to us as a county. And that's why I put it on the agenda for your consideration.
So they're paying for the reception?
The receptionist is on their salary. and we would receive benefits and no cost to us as a county.
It says here would share the administrative assistant position, so they would make it clear they would pay the salary.
Pay for
Yes.
it, and you just get to use it,
Yep,
or him.
him or her,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
What is the interim period? What is that period?
That's until we get a new contract in place, no later than January of 2016. So pretty much the remainder of this year. And it's going fast, seems like.
At least it makes them pay for the office space.
Sir?
That makes them pay for the office space, you get it.
Well, right now, the intercom system we have out there only goes to the office that they would be using, and right now there's nobody there, so the intercom that's in there really doesn't help us any.
So the intercom system does not converse with anybody at the dispatch or emergency operations?
Not yet, we're still working on it, getting them to put it back there like it's supposed to.
There,
We're actually, that was a misunderstanding of these folks. We're actually holding back some final funds for the job order contract folks that realize they made a mistake, and they will be out there to correct it.
That'd be good if they could communicate with the backup.
yeah. It's
Kind of important.
But even at that, right now, we don't have dispatch out there. So, you know, for a short term, it would be a benefit.
I guess you could use a handheld radio.
Take one to the front door, you don't do that.
We'll have 130.
Okay, so what's your pleasure on that? Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Shane, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Allen, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, item number 12. This is also concerning the care flight at UMC to discuss and consider allowing care flight to station an ambulance at the South Campus and utilize space at the South Campus for their quarters during the interim contract period.
Right now, both of the ambulances are stationed on Mulberry Street, right there side by side. And CareFlight said that in order to achieve a better response time and response overall, they want to separate those two. The building is being leased by CareFlight, and they want to end that lease. I believe it's put one at the hospital, and the other one would be at the South Campus to separate those two. One would be able to drop on the 175 and catch the Crandall Combine, Talty area that way, and the one at South Campus would catch the Scurry Rosser and be able to back up the one down near Maybank and Kemp, giving them a better response time, both of them right there around the city of Kaufman, so they would also have a low response time.
So we have now one ambulance in Kemp, Maybank area.
Commissioner Judge, we do, sir, and immediately after we took over the contract, we were made acutely aware that your county was understaffed, underserved. As a result, we've already mobilized additional MICUs and personnel. After that, put more units 24 hours a day in Kaufman County, and keep us number one with the ability to provide very, very timely and compliant response times that you guys have support. So what we were finding was that the truck out of the MICU out of Maybank was being pulled out far too often, leaving that part of the county essentially unprotected. All right, and as a result, with those additional resources, and looking strategically at response times and looking at the county map as well as the city of Kaufman map, what we wanted to do, so we felt that it was irresponsible to have both trucks sitting right here on Mulberry, different times of day, a highly congested period location here in Kaufman, where we needed to separate those resources, and we need to put them in the best possible positions geographically in Kaufman to not only get to our outer lying areas, but also bring into the core of the city of Kaufman to respond as well. So the MIC that we're hoping to temporarily relocate into the county building allows us that ability to shift resources much quicker down to the Kemp and into the Maybank area when needed, although we already have increased resources there.
Okay, so when the ambulance in the Maybank area
Yes,
is
sir.
deployed, do you move one of these to stage it here while it is deployed?
Yes, sir. And one of the things that we also have as a benefit is that effective yesterday, I will now directly oversee 3 additional MICUs in the Balch Springs and Southeast Dallas County that are currently 911 trucks. So they fall under my supervision now. And we have a very technical, what we call a posting plan or shifting. And it's all based on numbers, and it's based on strategy. In addition to what we also have, we have 3 additional MICs. When our county levels get to level 5, which essentially says we have 5 MICUs left in the county, all of a sudden, one MICU comes out of Southeast Dallas County, automatically gets to Kaufman. So we do have a very, what I consider a robust and nice backfill plan for care fight resources in other 911 districts that keeps our levels up, that keeps our response times down, and it keeps our patient care standards to what you guys expect.
If it helps you any, East Texas didn't start movement of resources until they reached level 3, which meant they waited until they got down to 3 ambulances left in the county before they started moving. As you can tell, CareFight is moving things faster to keep us a little better protected.
That's great. My only concern is, it looks like y'all are gonna need like 5 offices. It says here, the needs would be 3 rooms for sleeping quarters, a day room, a TV room, and then some office space.
That may be poorly worded, it's 3 total.
Being one at 911 center and then 2
Well, no, they would need a room for their dormitory, if you will, 1 for an office and 1 for a day room.
Three rooms, and one of them had to be relatively large for like a dorm room.
As much as I hate to admit, if you look at the dormitory rooms that in the buildings that we're currently leasing or that we inherited from the East Texas Medical Contract, those rooms have just enough room for 2 twin beds and a 3-foot walkway in between the 2 beds, and that's it. So ahead of today's meeting and meeting with Steve, we did take a look at some options there. The options that he presented that we looked at are absolutely wonderful size-wise. There's not going to be any reason to have to worry about size. They're ample, sir.
How many offices will that leave us vacant at the South Campus then?
Depends on whether you're counting offices with boxes in them or.
Yes, yeah. Available rooms that we could use as offices.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look.
I think some of those will be cleared out whenever we have an auction, right?
Yeah, I know they're storing a lot of offices. Yeah, I looked at it.
No, how many rooms are total in the building, do we know?
Well, there's like 4 or 5 that were previously the auditor's office out there. There's 4 along the other opposite wall from where the auditor purchasing was. So there's about 7 or 8 spaces over there. Some of them have boxes in them now and stuff for the auction. So,
Who else is
right now, it's the fire marshal's office and public works and environmental officer.
Historical Society.
Historical Society.
We're using 4 or 5 offices now? I mean, without. Well, we have to clean them out and make space for them.
I think there's enough that we would not have to do a lot of cleaning out to accommodate them. we may have to move some of the auction stuff to get them in one of those three, but they're gonna do all the work, so we just need to make sure we.
I'd like to look at this a little closer. Maybe we could put this on the workshop too that we're gonna have. At some point, at budget time maybe, I'd like to explore the possibility of moving ag-life people into that department and saving them. I just wanna make sure we have enough room to do that.
We need to watch that look and see what's.
We've been having a jury trial out there for the last week, and they'll go through this week as well. And I just asked to take into consideration that we need a jury room for sure over there. So make sure that room stays.
There is a room back there, and that's
Okay.
not even been under consideration.
Okay.
So,
I make a motion to table this until we explore it a little further. I don't have any problem with it.
think we can get that done between now and next Tuesday.
Yes, sir, we'll go out there and identify those homes.
Identify the offices that are vacant, and the ones that we could use, and see how we can.
Okay.
All right.
Make it take it from. Yeah.
We have a motion from Commissioner Ball, second by Commissioner Allen, to table this until next week after we have a little chance, because we're meeting this Sunday, Tuesday. I think we do Sunday. To look at this one deeper.
Yes, sir.
Steve, all in favor say aye. You might mention what you mentioned to me the other day, that I think Mr. the owner, Careflies, the president.
Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, Jim, had indicated that once we get the 911 center up and going, that he may want to come back to the county and ask permission to locate one of his dispatch
Yes, sir.
operations there. You may be familiar with that.
Only with Jim's.
I know you can't speak for us, but.
What he had asked me about was, once we get everything up and running in our dispatch center, the new one over there where I'm located, to explore the possibility of them sending a dispatcher there with access to their CAD or computer assisted dispatch and radio system, and put them in one of the vacant spots, because we're gonna have 2 vacant spots there in dispatch. That we have included for future growth. And that way, instead of everything going through a phone to their center in Grand Prairie, it's, right there across the table from them.
Instant, like, yes. Well, there is some advantage to doing that.
There's a lot of advantages to doing that, but that is also something that, needs to be explored by the sheriff's office, and make sure that everything would work okay out there. But I think that would be a good thing to look at, because it would definitely cut down on time lags in communication, as well as the ability to coordinate resources between our fire departments and our EMS.
So right now, if we get a 911 call for ambulance service, it goes to Grand Prairie. It comes to our PSAP, and then they direct it to.
They come to our PSAP, they have what I call a ring down of what button to call to send it over to Careflight's dispatch. Part of the problem is we need to be able to do it in such a way as our dispatchers can garner the same information as Careflight without having to ask them all these questions, then transfer them, and then ask the questions again. That takes up too much time. Because we have to capture the same information to send that out to the fire departments or first responders that are going to be going also.
So if they were sitting at our console, they'll have our computer screen there and they can look at what our dispatch is saying.
That's one option. That's the part we
Because
have.
that'd be the whole way, it wouldn't be relaying the information anyway, whether you were sending it here to me or you were sending it to Irving.
The information will be on a big screen.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
As long as they can see the screen, that's the only way that they'd be relaying.
so it would be a definitely done.
Okay, I just thought we'd mention that. Yeah. All amendments for the Department of Justice grant sheriff in the amount of $12,800 and employee wellness program in the amount of $4,925. Karen, you had anything to
I believe I actually did copy of the $12,800 has been deposited into the Kaufman County bank account, and the employee wellness program, we got a check from TAC, and then we had a little bit of carryover from last year. We weren't sure how to finish spending it, and we wanted to adjust the budget so she could do the programs that she's doing employees.
Okay. What's your pleasure, item number 13? Motion by Commissioner Allen, to have a second. Commissioner Shane, seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Item number 14 is to discuss and consider approving budget amendments for furniture to complete the EOC and dispatch with furniture.
I also brought that for you. This is more of part of the bond thing to have the resolution that we can go ahead and spend some of the money and then pay the general fund back. Almost 11,000 of it is for furniture for the EOC room, and the other is like, I put 11,000 for it, it's like 2,000 something to cover the dispatch furniture, so they'll hold the new equipment and consoles. It had been suggested that maybe we hold off and wait and use folding tables for that equipment. That equipment's too expensive, so we need to buy the furniture for it to be put on. And that's what I'm asking for, and then I'll reimburse the general fund that 22 our money.
I didn't have any support material with this, so we're looking at a total of and that would come from the bond.
Yes, sir.
Money.
Jack hasn't issued POs yet because we were waiting to get a corrected price, so we're still waiting on that, but
Tell us again, Jack, what it is for this 22,000.
Well, it's all the furniture in the ELC room, all the desks and chairs and whatever, that's all. And then,
Not in the dispatch room,
so
in the EOC.
Right, and then the other side of that, the other channel is the two officers, I guess it'd be the sergeant, and then his backup person supervising dispatch, and then also in the warrant section, furniture for that.
Thank you.
Questions? Any other questions? All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Shane to approve item number 14.
These are not high-back leather chairs that stay in the seat.
They're not leather chairs.
they're not.
They can have this one. All right.
I'm sorry, you said.
We don't have a second.
We're on 15, I said 14. We have a second, we have a motion from Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Phillips seconds, any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 16 is to discuss and consider approving a resolution. I'm trying to hurry up and get us through here, y'all. Item number 15 is to discuss and consider a resolution amending Kaufman County authorized representative to transact business with textbook participation services. This involves the county treasurer, so that he can be our official representative to authorize textbook investments. I noticed there was one misspelled word on here I want us to correct, and we can do that. It's got Carol, I think Carol Ogden's name is misspelled. We'll need to correct that before we finish doing this. So we have a motion from Commissioner Shane. Do we have a second? Second. Commissioner Allen seconds motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Item number 16 now is to discuss and consider approving a resolution in support of Representative Spitzer's Child Safety Zone bill to grant general law cities, which are cities with less than 5,000 population, the same ability to pass ordinances related to child safety zones as home rule cities currently possess. And you have a copy, I believe, of that proposed resolution. We have a representative from Representative Spitzer's office here, Ms. Durham. Anybody have any questions about that?
No, I think it's clear.
Yeah.
I mean, it allows you to, small city, to
Do the same thing.
do the same thing big city does against child predators.
So you put that in form of a
Within
motion?
a school zone.
That form of a motion
Make a motion to
Okay,
approve this
motion.
resolution.
from Commissioner Phillips, second from Commissioner Raleigh. All in favor, say aye. Next item is item number 17, to discuss and consider advertising bids to purchase excess wrap material located in Kaufman County and to be used by all precincts. Jack?
Gentlemen, this is some wrap material that Commissioner Shane mentioned that's available. I think they may be buying some of that as we speak, but before we got to the $50,000 threshold, I want to put a bid out for that. I'd like to also, while I'm doing that, I think I may just put the grade fill rock on that as well.
We need that.
Yeah, it does say that. I haven't had luck finding it yet to pick back. If that develops, we'll do that first, but nothing else, I'll put it on this bid.
Can you word another item on there to enable us to buy that wrap material from the contractors that are gonna visit highway work in the future, that we may have to start it yet, or will that have to be a separate issue? Such as that.
Yeah, probably we're gonna have a price on that. I'm gonna have to, a lot of you gentlemen to give me some help on this particular specification here. My understanding is this is available right now.
Yeah.
So,
This particular item is, but there's been other batch coming up from a contractor, highway contractor, and we want the ability or authority to buy that as well.
that will probably be a separate situation. We'd like to have a bid price and everything else, probably not doing a bid on that, but we can do that.
We need to get that probably on the next agenda.
Next Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. All right, what's your pleasure on item number 17? Mr. Shane moves that we approve item number 17 to advertise to provide the excess wrap material. I have a second. Commissioner Allen seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Item number 18 is to discuss and consider awarding bid number 15-05 on-site recycling of asphalt milling services.
Gentlemen, this was not in your packet because at the time I put it on the agenda, we did it on close. Why we didn't have that. We had one vendor that's going to bid on that. The one bid we did receive was from Cleveland Asphalt Products. And you'll note there on the second page there is $26.50 per ton, based on a minimum of 1,000 tons. And they have a discount $1 per ton. If you gentlemen feed the train.
Feed the train.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from Cleveland Asphalt for asphalt recycling service.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Rosales. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Shane. All in favor say aye. All opposed?
This is another good savings, and I would thank Jimmy for finding this company to help us out. We're paying about $70 a ton for patch material. This will get it for $26 a ton. And we have 6 months supply of patch material. So we're going to change our game up so we don't have to go chase it down all the time.
Between that material you get on the cost of over, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I did the math, and if we utilized all that material from TechStop and we ran it through this plug mill, the price difference between what we would pay for this versus if we went to 8-pack volume would be $1.3 million difference. So that's a huge savings to us.
I think that's about $1.8 million if you're using
COVID, yeah.
$1.8 million.
All it enables us to do a lot more roads.
Your approval on all, right, Mr. Guy over at TechStop.
Okay,
Self,
Yeah,
yeah.
we got.
I'll write over there and we will all sign it.
Absolutely.
All righty, item number 19 is to discuss and consider action on leasing a piece of property from George Schuler, G. Schuler Development for 6 months at a cost of $1,000, located at the corner of Highway 175 and 741. Commissioner Allen asked if this be on
I put that on there. It's where TxDOT used to store all that material. It's a good hard base there. It's probably 6-8 inches thick now, old asphalt and stuff. It's a good place for us to store for precinct 4 or wherever, because they're about to start 741, doing the same thing as 2728. It'd be a great place to store material. And then you go back, you can get a longer lease on that. It's a good start.
So the $1,000 is total, not per month.
No, that's total. Total 6 months.
It's a big deal.
And it's like 304 acres.
All right, you put that in form of motion.
That is.
Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Allen, we have a second. Commissioner Ravalik seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Item number 20 is our favorite discussion item. It seems like, and that's to discuss and consider approving a new contract with the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake for animal control. And Pam has been working on this off and on, and we're back to work before the holidays, I guess.
Yeah, we contacted Donnie, which is the president of the Humane Society, and asked him if he would be interested in us rethinking the contract. We were paying $100 per animal, or are paying $100 per animal, and if you recall, we wanted to pay $65, they wanted $75. Well, gentlemen, it's cheaper to pay $75 than $100. And so we just thought about it, and we decided to contact him and ask him if he would be in agreement with it, and he was. So he would drop it down from $100 to $75. That'll save us $25 per animal, dog and puppy, which, you know, our cats are going somewhere else. So that'll save us some money until we can figure something out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I would like to bring up, maybe possibly when we do our countywide cleanup, that possibly we can have a spray and do a clinic somewhere on the same day, advertising. I know, Charles Whitaker was here earlier, and I was hoping he would stay so we can have this discussion, because we talked about this.
We do have 4 times a year that we have set to do our low-cost shots, and not offer the neutering, but have the information there for them to grab and go, so they can make their appointments with the neutering clinic. We have a booth that will be set in our county show with all that information in it. We've asked local veterinarians to help us out with the low-cost shot, using the showground on the weekends that we do every Saturday morning until 1 or 2, something like that.
That's this week.
The information is out there, it's going to be put out with the dates and information.
What's county show?
County show is this week, and we will have a booth there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with information about where our animals go and the costs that we're having to spend to educate the community on the expenses that the county has in picking up their animals, which need to be spayed and neutered to solve all the problems.
Well, I was just thinking,
That's a great idea.
Aiden could do this, then, I know it's extra work for you.
That would be an idea, that's a great idea. We have had people call in and ask when the date is for the cleanup. So,
Yeah, we probably need to put that on pretty quickly. I mean, next Tuesday. Yeah, it's gonna be a long end of it. It is.
The late fee thing.
Need to find
Well,
out.
I like that.
and
It's 15 days.
we don't like that either, but it works for us. They send us the bill, and as soon as I get the bill, I let them know I got it, and I let them know when the next commissioner's court is, so it's worked out perfect. We haven't been hit with a fee.
I was gonna say, because all you have to do is put it in one day after we do the check.
Yeah.
And then
Then we can't meet the obligation.
They understand, they do understand.
So I really think that we ought to change that.
Okay,
I mean, I just think, the county's gonna pay the bill. I just don't think it needs to be a late fee for the county.
And there's never been one assessed, because as soon as I get it, I let them know what the date is.
I'd much rather have it right.
Okay.
They used to call, usually calls
Yeah.
and asks us for the check early so they can make payroll.
Well, I
They
think,
haven't done that in a long time.
yeah, no, I know, and I think the county, you know, that's one thing, a lot of counties, that's part about their contract, all relate to, you know, the county pay their bill,
We're gonna pay the timely.
and they're gonna pay the time.
Next available opportunity.
So, that's something.
Okay,
With that, I'm happy, that's a good job.
With that correction,
We'll do good.
So you're putting that in place.
I'm putting more of the motion that we accept the contract, just
Mr.
take out.
Phillips, all right, makes a motion, Mr. Gonzalez seconds, motion, any other discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, let's take a break, we'll come back and finish up.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
All right. I think Steve's on his way. We'll call back to order.
Most of them in here, I'll be like my kids for all over. I've got it pulled up before. Second.
All right, item number 21 is to discuss and consider approving line item transfers. Karen?
Yes, sir. You have any questions over these line item transfers?
On the public works, what are we doing there? We're doing away with the assistant 911 coordinator?
We're not, well, if you remember, we gave Fire Marshal the advantage of restructuring his office. And he's moved some money around. We still have some restructuring to do, so we'll probably have another few corrections to bring you next time. He just recently hired someone for the sewer inspection. So, right, and at that time, we didn't know what was going to happen in that department and how, and we had only budgeted for part-time help in 2 positions, and now one has retired and we've got a full-time person, so we'll have to do some adjusting there.
I think he's had 2 retired.
Yes, 2 retired, both of those have been put part-time
Right.
during budget time. So we're still looking at that department, trying to fix those. We need the help.
Further questions on the line item transfer?
Make a motion to approve the line
We
item.
have a motion from Commissioner Gonzalez, second. Commissioner Shane, seconds. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed. Next item is item number 22, discuss and consider claims for payment.
Claims for payment are $1,378,495.46.
You can verify everyone's over here.
Yes, sir, I looked at all of it. Hopefully I can answer all your questions.
All right, on the big packet, page 35. There's bills there for record service. It looks like they towed the same vehicle twice on the same day.
On page 35.
It's a 560 in the sheriff's fund.
Page 35 is precinct 1 robbery.
You're wrong.
You're the wrong packet. It's the Cadillac.
Oh, the Cadillac Escalade?
Yeah. It looks like it's,
It's got the same
everything.
PO number, and it's the same invoice number, except the second invoice number has -2.
Yeah, big watch.
What vendor is it? What vendor number?
010 4901 560.
No, that wouldn't be the
Oh,
vendor number.
the 150851.
Okay.
Right.
All this stuff, PO.
Yeah, that's the PO number. It should
computer one. Thing will go off the other day, and your connection to the same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, y'all gotta do it.
Maybe we're looking at different chicks.
You share that with me?
Now we're gonna worry about it. No.
Yeah, you got cash requirements, that's not right. Let's see, these two right here. See, it's not telling me which regular service it is. And it's in under 560.
Yeah. I've got an invoice on here, but.
East Lake Towing, I believe. Yeah. And T-13.
Well, I know that's what I'm making, I'm just saying, I was kind of curious about the route number.
Maybe it's,
Maybe they're just shooting off the wall, I am,
maybe it's DVRG, I don't know. The caliber pretty good.
I know they're gonna be too. I mean, I'm just kind of curious if you do something, maybe. There wasn't any of them here last today.
So it's cost money.
No, I know they do, but this, you know what I mean? It just seems like it was a lot.
Can y'all hear me?
I think that's.
Is this something totally different?
Maybe that's one today, this is one.
You just make it back.
You say we're building.
It was,
All the way up, button turned off and on.
Yeah, that's what we would be. City council.
There is a lot.
On that, there's a button. Maybe even here, one button.
there's a.
It's got the same number, except for a -2.
Here's one in.
14.
One of those is way too big.
It's the same car. It's the same car, same day. This one says day, 2/9, this one says 2/10. But same.
I think we signed on 3 of those.
That's very strange.
Does it say from where it towed from, where the two were?
Yes, it says, well, these pickup locations 14, 21, 30, and pickup line 20 and 34.
They towed it from two different locations, two different days.
You didn't make it very far.
What is it on?
It's on,
Towing deal.
I know the sheriff's vehicle broke down out of town. It could be they pulled it to a place to look at or whatever, that's what they're trying to pass on.
It looks like it went to, and then they decided to don't put mustard the next day when they already fix it. I guess that's what I need.
That must have been a seizure.
yeah, but I mean, they got to go for it.
Yeah, it's, on here, it appeared it was the same day, and the same.
Yeah.
That's,
Did your judges get ready together, decide what we're gonna do about these old bills, these attorneys?
They don't have a meeting.
They had a meeting, I didn't meet with them out on the deal. I know they discussed it. I know they discussed it. Well, I don't know what.
George could probably answer that.
This is what I take.
On the,
Yeah.
on the armory IT construction, there was a big bill for $10,215 something.
What are the bills for IT on the armor? He's asking a question.
Yeah, the invoice came from Susan Wood, DBA Susan Wood.
It was $10,215 bill. All these are on the IT construction bills. What's the As long as all bills are paid.
The one you called it.
Something we need to look at, that in the years, like labor, textbook, well, it's not only looks. Yeah, or the computer server. That's, I mean, you rub your hand on the wall and get standing on your hand, that hand stays that way. Isn't that the whole idea of computers being clean, environment control?
Stand, all cheap, basically, and it'll sort of wash your feet down. You don't see it.
Sure, that's in the contract. Extra kind of computer.
That was labor and materials
What we do is I'm out of the fire code.
for the armory. Facility solution.
We're actually paying for contract.
George should be able to answer that
You
question.
signed off on the bill.
And George?
Right there.
This is, FSG, this is the, we talked about this Friday, Jack, so we built a building. We can seal the ceiling, we can seal the walls.
That's what that was, the question. And all was paid out of the, what was that paid out of? What?
Fund 11, the armory.
Right, that's all. Different day. Looked like they picked it up in Washington. First time.
They said that Gary McConnell was doing $2,000.
It just looked like they did the same day, had the same day on the,
They obviously furnished them with the office.
Do you have any more questions on the bills?
You want to vote? Yes.
Okay.
Sound system does work better.
Yes, it does.
Or that was
Smaller.
What is
that
this?
office, that.
Got that.
Another office.
Office furniture, equipment, for console, preprint four.
Is that for precinct 4 office?
Yes, he had that in his budget. He didn't use it
No
last
high
year.
back literature.
No, sir. Not
So
at all.
he has furniture now?
Precinct four, no, yes, precinct
Yes.
4 in Kemp.
He has 3, huh?
That's precinct 4 in Kemp, not
Yeah.
precinct 3.
Oh, this is 4.
Yes, 554 is apartment, precinct hospital, precinct 1.
I bet the other one, they didn't buy furniture.
I haven't seen him or heard from him, I have no idea.
Jack, did we ever get constable in precinct 3 at Cherry?
I think he wanted 3 tiers, didn't he?
3 Cherry?
Last I heard.
Did you personally carry him over?
You trying to get this chair, and I would let it take over.
Last I heard, he was reached out to Charles Fly, and he was trying to find a blue leather chair.
Blue one?
Is that acceptable?
I was gonna send him what, I quotes on, but I, you
Go to Home Depot and get Camp spray paint.
reserved the conference room or training room upstairs for the outside audit firm for 3 weeks. And because of the job that my staff, not me, has done in putting all the backup documents scanned into each bill, each receipt, each journal entry that we did, they are not there this week. They did the audit within 2 weeks, and they're finishing it up, doing anything that, giving us any kind of adjustment that we might need to make. And according to Mr. Manning, from the email, he's going to come by and probably visit with the judge and I and a few other department heads. They think we did a pretty outstanding job with the books, and that the audit was pretty good. So.
Right. So they're done with it, or?
They'll be probably this week will finish up, but they're not having to reserve that room for 4 weeks like they thought they were here for 2.
Super.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to it is clean up. I'll put on the agenda to advertise the bid along with the offset today. Keep on what you guys want to do. I think then in case you may want to get down to 2 locations. You guys have any changes?
I've just got one location, so
I'm gonna go back to one.
it's gonna change the name.
I'm gonna tell my people go 3.
What about,
We'll do real well with cut back. I think Jake indicated we down to 2 sides.
did you have trouble getting canned last year?
Every year it's struggling. Back in the day, there was multiple vendors. They all bought each other out. Then you get into a situation where, we'll say Kaufman wants to have their same day as a material. Then it's Kaufman's vendor that's working, so I'm not available for us. So the vendor pool get pushed in. Yeah, that's now outside of where else. Kaufman's.
Maybe you got the contacts there.
Well, I did talk to them last year, especially Blue Pond, and I talked to Liam a lot about it. And Greg, both of them had the same problem. They don't have that many 30 yards. Because they set 3 or 4 out here, and that means they're bringing 3 or 4 more in the swab. And they're not just talking about one location, so they're talking about 40 cans. Yeah, and they have to, and it's the time of year that they're full with all their contractors and roofing people, and 30 yards, 5-6 grand a piece. They don't like to buy them for
And they also,
special event.
yeah, they also indicated that when they work 40 hours during the week, that they had no time on Saturday.
That's right.
It's
It's
multiple issues.
Yeah, they really don't like this. That's really, we only got 2 vendors. We only have 2, CWD and Blue Bottom.
That other guy that we talked to last year, I think he supplied the ones that Elton.
They probably don't have 5, so.
Yeah, we've got a couple of others that kind of fell in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without
Yeah,
them-
you might have a couple of small individual vendors. all
They should
work
have
on
contact
can.
him.
Anybody you guys aware of, you should let me know.
We generally do that either the week before Mother's Day
Weekend before.
or after. It's the week before.
Well, it's the week, Friday, Saturday,
Everybody clean up their mother's house on Mother's Day.
Yeah, we don't Mother's Day weekend.
No.
The weekend before.
Weekend before?
Yeah.
I thought it was
That's weekend.
weekend before. It's gonna have to, almost have to be the first weekend before.
It could be after. It could be after.
Yeah.
Well, we will need to designate a day, kind of all.
We're gonna do that Tuesday.
We'll do it Tuesday, yeah. We'll have that on the agenda. I wanted to mention one other thing before we dismiss. I got a call the other day from the textile folks over in Dallas, and there's some money that's gonna come available this year soon for off-road system, yeah, or city roads. And what they've had happen, what I understand they've had happen, they've had cities do a lot of it, the counties very seldom apply for anything. And so they're really encouraging counties to apply. And it can be for stuff like, for example, Griffith Road and Highway 205. If you want to do something, have a left turn lane there and improve that intersection, and probably over Henderson Road and something Ulster can help us with. Is that the name of the road? Is there a
I mean, we have 4 lanes and all that. Henson Road and 548. Talking about Ridge Bridge, it has 4 lanes.
Okay, well, I didn't realize that. Well, I thought it was just 2 lanes.
Probably.
Yeah, roads like that.
Maybe Reader Road, 548 or something, could use some help with all
The school.
well, not only the school, we've got all the retirement homes and
Yeah,
all that.
that's where I'm thinking about it. Yeah. But anyway, they said that money would be available, and it can be used all on off system and stuff. But, or it can also be to, if you want to join a state road, you know, where you kind of join. So I'm gonna, if it's all right, I'll get Poster, look at it, and see what.
Helms Trail would be one too. Helms Trail. 1641.
Any creeks.
More accidents there.
Yeah, of course, that'd be a city deal, but the city could apply for it, you know.
Yeah, definitely is good.
Yeah, that's a bad area.
On another note, I've got a bridge that I've got to determine, it looks like it's right on the line between Oak Ridge, city limits, and the county, but I think it's the county's bridge on Zagoda Road.
That's one they didn't send the picture back.
No, that's one up in, actually in precinct 3, but it's on 279. What happened, TxDOT mislabeled that road, because the bridge says over Bachelor Creek, but it has County Road 262. The 262 is the one that was discontinued, that cut across from 2578 and came out of Talbot. And that was on Kings Creek. That bridge hadn't been there, Rushy Creek, Rushy Creek. That bridge hadn't been there since I can remember. But I got to look at where Bachelor Creek was, and Bachelor Creek is on 279. So somebody did a clerical error there and mislabeled the road. They got the right creek, but the wrong road number. And I sent them something, a couple months ago, they sent that, I emailed them back and told them that Bachelor Creek was on 279. But anyway, we do our 5 or 10% portion when TxDOT does bridges for us. And I've got a wooden bridge on Zagoda that I've got to do something with pretty quick. And if we do a rail tanker car or something, that should count towards our 5 or 10%.
This is a 10% deal too. This program is a 10%, which I guess most of that program is.
Yeah. So,
anyway, it sounds like something.
Replacing one bridge in any precinct counts towards the whole county's, portion of that 5 to 10%. So,
as soon as I get other information, I'll send it to you, and we'll get John to look at it and see if they can help us.
It comes closer. Reader Road probably have a red light for a while. I noticed they had, they had lines out there to count.
I think some of it has to be how many accidents have been, if it's high, so that may be some.
The trouble with that road is that the people that's coming off of it, their age, they start having accidents involved. It's tragic.
I think what happened last year, or whatever the last time they did this, they had more money than they had people apply. Yeah, and that's the reason they really wanted the counties to.
Well, sick John will.
I will.
He'll read with me.
He'll find out about it, so. All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Allen seconds, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, if y'all want anything on the agenda for next Tuesday, go ahead and get it to us pretty quick so we can get it out, we'll have to put the agenda out, Friday, before 10, so the things I've got on there, the things we talked
Is he gonna be in the morning?
9:30 here, yeah.
Is that next Tuesday, 31st?
31st.